So, Garrett, I'm guessing that Final Gambit might be the only horse in the Derby field that has never left the state of Kentucky.
Yeah, you informed me that. I wasn't aware of it, but I'd say it'll be something that you'll see more frequently in the future, given the healthy state of Kentucky racing. And we didn't necessarily leave him here because we just thought he was a perfect polytrack horse. But the prize money is so good in Turfway Park over the winter now that we're increasingly leaving better horses up there, as evidenced by Idiomatic as well. And it just makes sense to leave horses there for the big purses, as opposed to going down to Florida sometimes and second tier horses going to Tampa or whatever. So that was the motivation in leaving him there, and yes, that's the reason he never left Kentucky.
So where did y'all break him at the farm, or where did he get that early training?
Yeah, we do everything at the farm. I mean, we have done so probably since the mid-90s. We've always broken them at the farm. We used to send them away to pre-train elsewhere. Obviously, a lot of our horses back in that era were going to Europe to run as early horses, and as we increased our dirt presence over here, we evolved into building facilities on the farm and do everything now on the farm, all the pre-training, and send them directly in from the farm to the trainers.
Now, my helpful colleagues here pointed out that I guess you'd love to see nothing better than this horse be forced to go to Baltimore for the Preakness and finally leave the state of Kentucky as a Derby winner.
Well, I'm sure he'll definitely graduate out of the state at some stage or other, and I mean, it's wherever he goes and takes us will be great. But yeah, we'd love to win one more race in Kentucky before we have to go to Baltimore.
Why did you start him out on turf? Did you want the mile, or did you think he was a turf horse?
I think Brad definitely felt like he needed 2 turns for definite. At the time, Brad has a lot of 2-year-olds. You're coming towards the end of the meet here. You're trying to find suitable races for them, and he wasn't showing the early pace, which he doesn't have a lot of early pace anyway, to suggest putting him into a dirt race. I think Brad is just trying to find his way, and as he does with a lot of the horses, and as all the trainers do, and he ran really well in that turf race, and then went to Turfway, and when he was second up there and probably used him a little bit earlier, at least he proved he could lay up a little bit closer to the pace, but felt like maybe his style is better off laying off it. Let him lay off it and won impressively, and obviously won impressively with that style again in the Jeff Ruby. Again, some horses start out like that and then they can end up having enough early pace to lay closer, but I think we're still at the learning stage with this horse.
And what point did you start thinking, the Derby could be in play with this horse?
Say about at the 8th pole in the Jeff Ruby. Honestly, we were not thinking Derby before that, and that's been perfectly honest. But again, you're learning about these horses, and horses change so much at that point in time. Always knew he had some talent, but didn't know what level of talent. And even after he won the Jeff Ruby, it was still a big temptation to go to the American turf here. It's a Grade 1, it's $1 million race now, and obviously it's been publicised. We worked him on the dirt to see whether he would finish his works well, and he's been finishing his works very well. Now it's a matter of whether he's good enough on the day. I think it's potentially a very good Derby. But the Derby is the Derby. You've got to, we want to win it, Brad wants to win it, and we've got to give him a shot.
And you have won it, but you don't count that? You don't count Mandaloun?
I do, I absolutely count it. But I'd like to win it again, and I think B, we'd like to win it without controversy. Yeah.
And actually to be on the podium.
That's the one thing we were cheated from, because everyone dreams about winning the Derby, but the symbol of winning the Derby is having the horse draped in the roses and being on the podium and just enjoying the moment, and we didn't get to enjoy the moment, but the trophy is very proudly displayed in our office.
This is the first time you guys have had a Derby horse since Mandaloun, right?
Yeah, and you know we've actually performed very well in the Derby over the years, going back. I think it was 1995 maybe. Eltish ran in fifth in the Derby. Aptitude finished second to Fupeg. Never that really I felt like gave Bobby Frankel Derby fever when he never had any Derby fever prior to that, and you know he got into Peace Rules, Empire Maker, Medagliadoro and all that afterwards. He really got the bug immediately afterwards. Obviously Empire Maker was my biggest disappointment because I felt like he was the best horse that year, and it just didn't work out. And you know, then Hofburg, Tacitus, Mandaloun, you know, so we've been knocking on the door for a long time, and we have a trophy, but we haven't finished first past the post, and hopefully it's there in the future.
Talk a little bit about his pedigree, you know, Juddmonte homebred. Just what's the family like, and how long has that been in the Juddmonte family?
Yeah, it's been the Juddmonte family longer than I've been at Juddmonte. Mafida was the foundation mare and one of the foundation mares for the Juddmonte operation, and she was a powerful sprinter, but a turf sprinter, but big, gorgeous mare. Her daughter Zyzophon then huge big mare, accomplished turf mare, and produced Zaphonic, who won the 2000 Guinea. So it was turf back then and big horses. And then, like a lot of our pedigrees, we breed them to American stallions, which were the prominent stallions back then. So by the time it comes to him, yeah, you can say it's a lot of people said it's a turf pedigree, but there's a lot of dirt sire lines mixed in with it now. Obviously not this time, and the mare is by Tappet, even though she ran on dirt, and you know he's grey, so the Tappet is obviously coming through pretty prominently as well. But yeah, you know, you never know where all of the genes are coming from, but the fact is yeah, there's dirt and turf in there, and there's strong Juddmonte foundation bloodline, and there's very good broodmare sire and sire lines in there as well. So he's bred to be a classic horse, whether it's dirt or turf, and I hope it's dirt this week.